I think it's us. I think it's happening. I think there's a delay. It's not even official yet. I think we're live. Wave your hand if you're live. I think we're live. Oh yeah. Wave your hand if you're live. Oh man, it's happening. Oh yeah. Wave your hand if you're live. Oh man, it's happening. Oh yeah. Wave your hand if you're live. Oh man, it's happening. Oh yeah. Wave your hand if you're live. Get down that echo. Woo! For realsies. All right, whatever. We gotta start getting some breakfast beverages going. Yowzer. Come on, strength. I don't even have strength enough to open that. I'm weak in the morning. That should be enough. Okay. I am 100% asleep. No doubt. That's fine. You're supposed to be sleeping in the morning. Probably call this the rain edition. Man, it's been lacking a little rain lately, and then all of a sudden it just all showed up in like I don't know, 3 days. Jeremy, oh, welcome to the stream, bud. Welcome to the stream. Making coffee right now. Get the water. Oops, kick the tripod. Because how else would you do it? Perfection. And brew. How am I? Oh, I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing? I just like that chainsaw video. Figure you'd be into that. Oh man, chainsaws. I might have a problem. Too many chainsaws. There's like a this big chance that I might be getting another chainsaw today. I don't know. I don't need another chainsaw, but I actually might be going to look at a chainsaw today. Just because. I mean, why not? Probably won't. But what I've determined in life is if you're going to be ridiculous, you might as well be completely ridiculous. Well, that chainsaw's new, man. I bought that chainsaw on like Thursday. I'll tell the story. It's a pretty good story. The chainsaw story. So I went to work, and it was raining, but like it was only supposed to rain for like a little bit, like a light rain. It's like, oh, no big deal. And I got the phone out, and I'm looking at the app, checking the rain. It's like, well, it's gonna clear up in an hour, so I had an hour to like do nothing, right? Just sitting in the car doing nothing for an hour. So I got on the old interwebs, and I was like looking at used stuff, and I saw a guy selling a chainsaw, and I was like, ooh, chainsaw. It's a little bit nicer than my little one. It's like, it's kind of cool. Then like determined that the rain was not going to go away, and it's like, well, that's it for the day. Go home. It's like, well, all right, I guess I'm going home. And this chainsaw was located like kind of not exactly where I live, about an hour away. I didn't realize it at the time. I looked at the map. I was like, oh, it's up the road. Take a right. So like, well, this is what I'll do. I'll call the number, and if the dude answers, that means he's not doing anything right now. That means he's old. Typically, if you're sitting at home during the week and you're not at work, you're usually an old person. It's like, well, if he's old, that means he's not using it anymore, and he's just getting rid of his stuff. That's good for me. You know, it's a guy who doesn't need this anymore. It's been listed for a while, which is another good thing, which means no one scooped it up like, oh, hey, a great deal on the thing. I'm gonna scoop that up. So I was like, call him up. Yeah, it's for sale. And like, what's the story? He's like, well, just use around the house, cutting the branches in the fence line or whatever. Just like, all right. So it wasn't used by a professional tree trimming service. That's always good, right? And let's get this one going. I'm gonna go on high first, just get the heat in it. And I explained, who I was and where I was. He's like, yeah, it'll be about an hour to get here, but if you leave now, you could probably, we're leaving alone a few hours. I'm like, oh, about an hour, all right, whatever. So I'd get in the car and I just drive there. It took forever. Pull up, it's like in the middle of nowhere, literally in the middle of nowhere. Just cornfields, cattle fields, bean fields, whatever. Drive the driveway. It's an acreage, like 3 acres or something. He said, pull in. Go to the window. There's an old lady in the window. Oh, Donald or whoever it was, he's here. And like this old guy comes out and is like, hey, what's up? Just shoot the shit with him. He's like, yeah, we're moving and don't need it anymore. And it's like, does it run? He's like, yeah, it runs. So I fired it up. It ran. Lowballed him. And he was like, oh, I can't go that low. Then he kind of went back up a little bit, and I got it for less than they sell on eBay, if that means anything. Like quite a bit less. I mean, I didn't get a great. It wasn't like the dude was giving away a free chainsaw or anything, but like got a pretty good deal. Plus, it came with like a bunch of other stuff. I got some oils, and I got an extra bar, an extra chain, all that. I think that bar and chain was like $80 worth of stuff. It's like $30 for the chain and $50 for the bar. So that's cool. It was kind of crazy though. If you watch that video, when I fired it up, I fired it up and I throttled it. It worked perfect, full throttle, full RPMs, everything. And then because I know it had what I could determine, it looked like it had been ran flooded. There's a lot of shit coming out the muffler, a lot of liquids. And I watched a video, Steve's Small Engine Repair. He's a pretty good YouTuber. He said that if you're having a problem with your engine being flooded and then running with the extra liquid in the bottom of the crankcase and it coming out the muffler, once you get it running, turn it over and all that liquid will like pour down and it'll burn off. And you see that in the video. I turn it over and like smoke shoots out and then it cleared up and I was like, rin. And then all of a sudden it started bogging out. I was like, whoa, it's bogging out. And in the video, I kind of realized it. I mentioned it, but I kind of pretended that it wasn't happening as well because that sucks when your throttle doesn't work right. So I was kind of bummed out and, into the video, and I started like looking at this thing and running it. And yeah, like something happened where like when I hit the trigger, it wouldn't go full throttle. Like I went out and cut some wood with it, and like, oh, my air compressor still turned on. That sucked. It's probably been running intermittently all night. You could run it at like 3/4 throttle and it would get the RPMs would up, and once you went past it, it bogged out. So I was like, oh shit, I screwed something up in it. So I was like, did a little reading, and with those particular chainsaws, there's no adjustment for the high and low. It's just, I don't know, like EPA or environmental reasons. I have no idea why it's that way, but it just is. I don't know if people quite understand, like when they make these rules about saving the earth, right? Because that's why they did that. Oh, save the earth, because there's people who will adjust that and they'll run it too rich or whatever, or they'll burn too much gas to make the chainsaw perform in a manner that they want to have it perform in, right? That's what happens. People just like, they crank it up and it's too much pollution. Well, what happens in reality is those carburetors you can't work on. So what people do is they just buy a new carburetor. So like under the guise of saving the earth, people are just taking the carburetor and just throwing that shit in the trash. And then buying a new carburetor or replacing the carburetor with a better car. I mean, it's just like, yeah, that's saving the earth. Just more trash. Whatever, doesn't matter. So anyways, the result was, as I was like trying to Google like what would cause it to do that, the answer was just put a new carb in it, dude. It ain't worth it. Like, don't even bother rebuilding the shit, because like You can go on Amazon and buy a whole carb for like $15 or $10. You know, a knockoff one. Price, I think an OEM steel one's like 30. You know, whatever. So I did a little Googling, looking around, and went to Amazon, and I found a carburetor. Oops, I'm pouring coffee over here. Found a carburetor, full rebuild kit with like hoses and spark plugs and air filters or whatever, blah, blah. Probably not the right thing, but some of the reviews were like, oh, it's amazing. Other reviews were like, this thing's got a bunch of shit you can't use, but whatever. It was it $15 with a coupon, and then like I had a gift certificate of some sort or something. I don't know. It cost like $8. Supposed to be here on Monday. So I was just like, all right, new carbs coming Monday. I'll just slap that thing in. It should solve any perceived alleged problems that, you know, I'm suffering from. Real or imaginary, right? And it rained again then like yesterday, and I was just like, oh man, it's raining again. Like, what am I gonna do? It's like, well, the carburetor's coming on Monday. Let me just get the thing ready to go. I'll just tear the carb off, and when the new carb comes, it'll just show up, and I'll just slap the new carb in it and move on my life, you know. Where's the dog? Oh, she's in the other room, looking at me, waiting for her bacon. She'll be on video here in a little bit. So I did what I was gonna do. I took the carburetor off and got it ready to go, and I'm sitting there looking at the thing. I'm thinking, well, new carb's coming. This carb's off. I got nothing to do. It's raining. I'm not planning on reusing this carb. Let's just pop it open and see if there's like something glaringly obvious that's the problem, and maybe fix it or whatever, you know. That way, if I mess it up and I break the diaphragm or whatever, it won't be a tragedy because Newport's already ordered. It's already on the way. No pressure, right? It's all about pressure. How much pressure you're going to be under. So I proceed with the taking apart the carburetor. Well, this carburetor is kind of weird. It's got this little snorkel at the top. Not sure why, but it does. That goes into like the plastic airbox housing, and there's like must be like a metering diaphragm, or I don't know what it is. It had an O-ring on it, but the O-ring somehow had let a little bit of dust particles through, so there was some dust on top of the diaphragm, a little bit. And it's like, well, maybe that's the problem. Then as I was looking at it a little closer, I see this like little weird curly Q thing. Like, I really don't know what it is, but I see it there. It looked like a cross between like a thick hair and maybe a piece of toenail trimming or something. I don't really know what it was. I didn't know at the time. I figured it out later, but I see that thing. I pull that out, and I'm like, oh, maybe that's the problem. I was like, well, I'd like to look under this diaphragm, but like sometimes they're hard to get off because they get brittle or whatever. And I'm just kind of looking at the thing and like turn it over and look at the other side to see if the other side can be taken apart, and the diaphragm just like falls off, clean falls off. And I was like, oh, okay. So I look inside there, and what I see, I don't know if you've ever looked inside a carburetor or not, but like there's all this like weird little things in there, little screws and little levers and needles and recessed spots and all that. Well, there was a thing in this one that looked like a little bit of a tic-tac shape, oblong. And there was a recessed edge along the perimeter of that. And what it looked like is some gasoline had sat in that groove and then dried out and turned to varnish. Because there was still some in there, still stuck. And I think when I inverted the saw, the varnish that was sitting there loose, but just sitting there minding its own business, freed itself and then got loose inside. So I cleaned the carburetor up. Reassembled the carburetor. Put it all back together. And it's fine. It's fixed. Works fine. I mean, I haven't technically taken out and cut anything with it since then, but like, reassembled the whole thing, pulled the rope once on choke, it popped, adjusted it once, pulled the rope again, fired up, pulled the trigger, full RPMs, just like, well, where I'm from, that's called fixed. Okay, here's the dog. Old Beastus getting a drinkus. You get a drink, Beastus? Yeah, whatever. Little cameo. Professional bowl of water drinker. I'm getting ready to free this bacon. You're free! Oh, well, what a deal. So, long story short, I got a spare carburetor now, I guess. But what's cool about it is both the original small steel 170 and the new 180, they're basically the same machine. Just different cylinder and bore, whatever. So the carburetor and a lot of the parts are interchangeable, like the mufflers are the same. And yeah, I guess it was $8, but I mean, whatever. I suppose I could return it. It looks too cheap. Hopefully, I mean, I don't know how great the air filter is. I mean, I could use the air filter. Maybe I could use the fuel and oil filter out of it. I'm not sure if the oil lines and the fuel lines will work on the... I don't know. We'll see. Trust me, I've wasted far more money in my life than $8 buying shit that I never use. Which is a sad reality. But, whatever. Try not to waste. I mean, most likely what happened is, had I not already ordered the carburetor, when I tore the carburetor apart, I would have damaged the carburetor. I'm trying to think, the last carb I worked on was that Toro blower. And when I tore it apart, a piece that's like not replaceable made of rubber broke. For kind of no reason. I don't even understand why it broke. I mean, I think I could have replaced it, but like to replace it was more to carburetor. It just depends on the condition the stuff's in when it comes apart. I mean, everything's a gamble, right? It's always a gamble. You just never know. Well, there's the dog. Let's get a video of the dog. Hello, Beastus. Side profile. Oh, you smelling bacon and you're looking for some bacon. That was the saddest little dog bacon begging look I've ever seen in my life. So Bird has been making friends with the deer, I guess. I'm like nervous the deer are gonna attack her. So she's definitely not as mobile as she used to be. She's not as aggressive as she used to be by about 100%. But she's still got that little thing in the back of her head that says, back in the day, this was my yard. No deers dare venture into my yard without getting chased off, right? I think the deer kind of remember that too, but like now it's kind of like she can't do anything about it. The deer are kind of like, oh no, there's that dog that will attack us. But like, the apple tree is got apples on it. The deer are interested in the apples, and she just basically wants to be outside all day. Like as soon as she can get out, she goes out until late at night. She just enjoys sitting out and like watching, I guess. I mean, that's what you do when you're old. You're just enjoying the day while you got it. So, the day that the deer were like trying to eat from the apple tree and she was out there, she actually chased them off. Like she got up off the ground and like walked over and stood by the apple tree like a complete jerk. You know, it's like, this is my apple tree. You're not getting any apples or whatever. And I guess she was successful and chased about 7 deer off. Even though all they have to do is come up and stomp her, and there ain't gonna be a damn thing she can do about it. And then like a couple more days later, the deer want more apples, and they're up there, and she's just kind of laying there watching them. The deer kind of sitting there looking at them, and I walked out and I looked at the deer, and I was like, deer, if you mess with my dog, I'm gonna kick you in the face. And like the deer kind of realized, as long as they don't mess with my dog, it'll be fine. And I pulled an apple off the tree and threw it to the deer, and the deer was like, oh, okay. It's like, don't stomp my dog, please. Like, God. Like, I don't want to be in a fight with a deer, but I'd have to go out and fight a deer, I guess. Whatever. Elveshelves versus deer. Who would win? Probably the deer, unfortunately. That was a fail. How do you fail putting a piece of bacon down? Jeez. Hold my beer. I can figure out how. You want to cross the top, I guess. No, I guess I don't have to. There's only 4 pieces left. So I'm getting lean. Dog's giving me the lean. Rudy, you're just going to have to wait a little bit. Ooh, I've got avocado today. I'm going to put an avocado on my bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. That'll be fun. You want it? Doesn't that sound fun? We're going to pretend that cutting board's clean. It went through the dishwasher, so it must technically be clean, correct? You know how that works? Avocados from Mexico. Okay. I always feel like when I cut an avocado open, it's kind of a... You just never know what you're going to get. Ooh, looks like a good one. It's kind of a small guy, but that's fine. Do some... So, avocado story. I'll tell an avocado story. There's a syndrome known as avocado hand, and that's when you either slice or stab yourself with a knife when preparing an avocado. That's a real thing. It's a medical term because a lot of people hurt themselves dealing with avocados because of the greasy nature of the avocado, making it slippery. Blah, 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 blah. And I may have told the story before, but that's fine. I'll tell it again. I was visiting a family member who shall remain nameless for to protect the innocent. This individual was married. For the story to be correct, it's a female relative married to a male. I went to visit them, and when I was there, I noticed their knives were sadly dull. Probably right now their knives are dull because I haven't been down there for a few years, and they haven't been sharpened for a few years. Anyways, it doesn't matter. And I am a person of many skills, and one of the skills that I do possess is the ability to sharpen a kitchen knife with a steel. When I say a steel, I mean just like the bar that comes with your knives that you just rub on the stick, you know. Like one of these things. one of those. I can sharpen a kitchen knife with one of those. Doesn't really matter how dull it is. I'm able to do that. Not sure. Apparently, not everybody can do that, but it's one of the skills I do possess. Anyways, so I was like, well, let me sharpen your knives. We're just hanging out, you know, not doing anything. So I'll just sharpen your knives while we chat. So I did, sharpen all the knives that they had. But you know, because I'm not an insane person and I'm not out to hurt anybody. You know, I explained your knives are sharp now, right? These are sharp knives. You had dull knives before; they are sharp now. Okay. Husband came home from work, and the very first thing I said to him when he walked through the door was like, "Oh, hey, how's it going? Have a good day, blah blah blah." And then, like, as soon as the pleasantries were over, I was like, "Here's the deal. I sharpened your knives today. Your knives are sharp. I need you to understand that because if you've been living in this house with the knives in the condition that I saw them before I sharpened them, it will be a shock to you. So you need to know this just to be safe." And it was like, yeah, no, yeah, thanks. And I was like, yeah, no problem. You know, happy to help out. And for dinner that night, we were having something that involved avocados, and he was helping. And he got the knife out, went to cut the knife, and the knife was so sharp, it cut through the avocado so quick, he was like, holy shit. Luckily, that was hot. Luckily, he did not cut himself, but he came very close. So that's my avocado story. I sharpened knives for a family member and almost sent one of them to the hospital with avocado hand. It was kind of funny though. I don't know how the world works. I just... Like back in the old days, like this is kind of how the world's evolved into. Like back in the old days, I'm pretty sure if you didn't know how to sharpen a knife, like you probably wouldn't have lasted very long. Like you'd have died eventually. Because there was no power anything. Like everything was like you powered. You powered all your cutting and slicing and all that. So if you weren't able to like actually like sharpen a knife, you would have burnt all the calories that you consumed in a day effing around with a dull cutting instrument. So by default, you'd have to have a sharp knife. It would just be like, it would be like second nature. I'm trying to think what the equivalent in the modern era would be like. Like, do you know how to like turn on your cell phone? It'd be like not knowing how to do that or something. Like just something so basic. Like, but for some reason, that skill has like gone away, and it's been replaced by like, I don't need it as sharp as it could be because I have power. You know, like I've got a saw. I don't need a sharp blade in my saw because the power of the saw will power through. Whereas like if you were cutting something like this with a handsaw, if that thing was dull, you'd know in a second because it just wouldn't be happening. You would stop and sharpen it because like the efforts you're putting in are extreme, and then for that effort to go just into dullness, like back in the days, there was like on like a big project, there'd be a dude that all his job was to keep the tool sharp. Like he just sharpened stuff all day long. That's all you do is just sharpen the tools, sharpen the chisels, sharpen the saws, sharpen the blades, sharpen the knives. I'm trying to think. Like I went out east one time to visit a family member, and this guy he bought a piece of land that had an abandoned marble quarry on it. It was a true story. And it was like a production marble quarry back in the day. And you could see the foundations of the buildings that were on the site. And he explained to me, he's like, well, that building foundation there, that was the sharpening. That's where they sharpened the tools for the mine. It was a pretty good sized building too, and all the building was for sharpening. Sharpening the chisels and the tools and stuff. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. Man, this thing is so full. It is like the most full. The dog will be excited to have a little extra I've been putting a little bit of bacon grease in her breakfast in the morning every once in a while. Not every day, but just to make it taste like a extra yummy. Okay, that's probably getting close. Let's crack an egg and see what happens. The old egg cracking. Not hot enough, but eventually will be. So don't fret. Don't fret, friends. It will all work out in the end. All right, where's the pepper? I know I had it around here someplace. Oh, for real? Oh, there it is. I like a little pepper on my egg. I'm gonna try to pop this avocado. Avocado. Not the greatest technique. Be good for making guacamole. I guess I could get a tomato and an onion and make some guacamole. That wouldn't suck, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, back to the egg. Back to the old egg. Ye old egg. Oop, got that. We're gonna use blue plates today. Why? I don't know. Because apparently this one's still filthy and I felt compelled to try to clean it before I use it. When I say clean, I mean rub water on it, then rub a towel on it. See? That's how you clean a plate around here. That's gone through the dishwasher and didn't meet your standards right away. We're in a maneuver there. Egg, why are you leaping, bud? Oh, yolk went. Damn it. Darn it. Dag nabbit. Alright, let's give the dog a little piece of bacon, because I want a piece too. Want some bacon? Berta. Berta. Want bacon? Come here. Come here. Yummy. Want another one? Another one? Pretty good stuff. There you go. Yowzer. I don't know what this little guy's doing, but he needs to. There's a lot of grease on this pan today. I think I'm going to drain this egg a little bit. Just set him there for now. Round two. Fight. Need to get some. Oh yeah, I'm the world's best boss. Don't even ever forget that. Need some orange juice going here. Made in the USA. Or sorry, the farmers are the people that own this are from America. It's not all from America. It's got South American oranges in it. Do the oranges from South America taste different? I don't know. I don't know. Mmm. Orange juice with pulp. Right through the mustache strainer. It's good for you. All right, let's figure out what we're doing here. I gotta make some toast. Make some room. Adjust a few things. Move some things. Try not to burn a few things. Okay, here we go. We got the 12 grain. Makes really good toast. Actually makes some of the best toast. Oh yeah, I don't think you were supposed to say that. My birthday was a few weeks ago. You missed it. Don't need the internet knowing all my secrets, but I appreciate the belated wish. Wink. I suppose everybody's got a birthday at least once a year, right? So we're gonna try some avocado on the build today. Not sure how. I don't know what layer the avocado goes on. Would it go? How should this go? Egg first, then cheese, then bacon, then avocado. Is that the order of operations? It's possible. We'll find out as soon as the old bread toasting machine gets done doing its little operating toasting maneuver. I feel like that's underneath the counter too much. I don't like that. Let's make a little room to try to drain this other egg here. Okay. I didn't time the toast right, did I? That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. You get the big surprise when it pops up. It's always a surprise. Oh, there it was. Surprise. Surprise, surprise. Now, sometimes I put the cheese down first, but I've always found that the egg doesn't soak into the bread quite as nice when you put that cheese first. Maybe that skillet or that griddle's still hot. I just griddled my hand a little bit. Griddle me this, Batman. Griddle me this. Okay, so far so good. Let's add a few pieces of this here. Oh, Bertie, what are you doing in there? Poor doggy. Now the avocado, it's going to be a delicate procedure. Trying to figure this out. I'm sorry, I'm concentrating. I don't need to save any. I think we're just going to throw it on there, right? And just see what happens. It didn't really come out in slices like it does on the TV shows. don't even know if this is working out. I don't even know if this is a thing. Does avocado, bacon, cheddar, and eggs toast work? I just remember seeing like on the internet the avocado toast sad images, you know. I paid $25 and it looks like this. It's like, I guess. All right. How did we do? Well, it's not going to win any awards for. It's got a nice color to it. I mean, kind of red and a blue and a green and a yellow. It's got quite a bit of this important now, man. So I didn't run my dishwasher the other day like I was supposed to. So like, and then I forgot again, and then I kept forgetting, and then like, next thing you know, I'm out of dishes and out of silverware. So like, the thing was so packed, and like, dishwashers don't work really good when they're super packed. So I've been doing a lot of like cleaning of my dishes after the fact. All right, first cut went terrible. All right, can I get like a little bit of everything on this first bite? Is that even possible? I don't think I got any egg, which is unfortunate. That's pretty good, actually. Trying not to talk with my mouth full. It's not easy. So we're going to save some of this for the beast. We'll give her a chunk. That'll be the beast's portion. I'm pretty sure she'll eat the avocado. She's pacing right now. Trying to pressure me. I don't think I told the story, but like the other day she wanted out in like the middle of the night. I was like, whatever, dog, go out. I let her out and like I fell back asleep. Then she ended up getting tangled around a post. And then it started raining. Poor dog. The rain woke me up. I'm like, oh shit, the dog's still outside. I walked out and like there she was, just like, she was as wet as a dog can get, 100% soaked. Poor doggy. The old pooch got a shower. She needed one too. Oh, you got avocados? Lucky you. Yeah, I got some the other day, and they weren't very ripe, and now they're starting to ripen up. I ate one the other day. What did I put it on? Oh man, it's not easy getting older. Can't remember what I put it on. Well, apparently I have brain damage. What did the... literally don't even remember. I remember I cut it up, and I remember I used a serrated knife, and as I was cutting into it, it was like, oh, that was the wrong knife. Like, what'd you do that for, dummy? Alright, let's make the dog a little plate. She's just pacing in circles, wearing out her leg, going in a circle. Poor dog. The old hip, giving her problems. How's that look? Here. Is it okay? Is the avocado to your liking? Oh, don't fall over on camera. Oh, dog, you or something else. Here, if you'd sit on the rug, Berta, you'd have much better footing. On the rug. There you go, girl. Good girl. Okay. Poor dog. All right, round 2. Whoever's placing the avocado needs to talk to the... I need to talk to the manager. That is inappropriate. That is wildly inappropriate. We'll let it slide this time. So I tell some stories now. This week's big story is I came home one day and they actually fixed the stones in my driveway. Sorry, didn't fix it. They took the temporary road construction rock out, which was broken concrete, and they replaced it with limestone. Because that's what my driveway was limestone. This is where it gets good. My limestone, or my driveway was basically like, what, 3/4 inch limestone. Whatever. I used to just drive over the hill to the concrete store and just buy a truckload and spread it. They brought rocks out that are almost as wide as my hand. Giant rocks. But limestone. I'm thinking to myself, well, I mean, what am I going to do? Make a phone call. Hey, I don't like the size of the rocks. I'm just like, dude, I never thought it was going to happen anyway. So I was like, just moving forward. Just moving forward. So before the stone showed up, I did a little work on my lower garage and like dug some stuff out and like try to adjust it where it needs to be for final, and they weren't anticipating that, so like they did this like weird like they put the rocks in, pretended the lower garage didn't exist, kept the rocks back from there, didn't do anything to fix all that. Like just so bizarre. I mean, it's such a, I don't know how to describe what they've done down there. Like, I'm sure there were many meetings where they're like, man, this is going to be hard. Well, let's just pretend it's not there and see what happens. Like, let's hope the owner doesn't say anything. Just, it'll all work out, right? And like, when I had the meeting with the guy, he was like, all right, we're going to go to this one sign, some random sign. And I casually mentioned, like, I don't think you should go to a sign. You should just go to wherever it's got to go to be done. Well, what do I know? And, like, I wasn't here, so I never saw how it went down, but, like, it looks like they dug out the driveway, part of it. And at one point they realized they were just digging limestone. There's no point in digging limestone out just to replace it with limestone. So they tried to kind of spread some of it above, up the driveway a little bit. But in the process, they ended up like pushing that recycled rock up in there, and like that's what I don't want my main part of my driveway. It was like, whatever. Like, see, one of the days this week, I looked out and I saw, it was kind of ironic. I saw the dude from the original meeting representing the engineering department. I saw the dude from the construction company from the original meeting in my front yard discussing the results of the second meeting, which were the exact same results of the previous meeting. Like, you know, we had the meeting, we talked about what we needed to do in my yard. They never did it. We had the second meeting we talked about. And I was just like, it's so weird. Like, the dude that was at the first meeting is having a discussion with the other dude from the first meeting about what we agreed to at the first meeting. That's literally what they were doing. We all stood there, we all agreed. And then now he's explaining to the guy from the first meeting what we talked about in the second meeting, which was the exact same thing we did in the first. It's just like, how? What? I don't even understand what's happening. And like my garbage can was still out, so like I was leaving, I went out and got my garbage can. They saw me come down the driveway, and they both hid. They hid behind the cars. They didn't want to talk to me. Oh, it's fine. I don't care if you don't want to talk to me. Look at this to the dog. So then the construction dude who really didn't want to talk to me, he left, and then like the supervisor or the overseer guy for the engineering department was there, and he's willing to talk to me. So I was like, hey, you got a minute? He's like, yeah. I was like, I just want to talk about my driveway with you. And he's like, oh yeah, they put the rocks down. I was like, yeah. You see the size? He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, come over and look. And he walked over. He's like, geez, the work order was 3/4. And I was like, yeah, no, that's like 3 to 4. That's not 3/4. And his answer was, well, you lucked out. They must have screwed up when they loaded it. Inference being, you got better, more expensive product than you were supposed to get. And I'm thinking, well, that's kind of missing the point here, bud. Like, the idea is not to have boulders in my driveway. But luckily, let's feed the dog this. Action cam. Whoa. Whoa. Well, just lay down there for a second. Gotta pick my dog up. Give me 1 minute. Come here, Pooch. Time for breakfast. Let's hop up. Okay, on the run. Good girl. Here we go. Mmm. That's a feast. That's a feast for a beast. That's a beast feast. Your foot sliding. Oh, you're gonna crash on camera, Berta. Oh, good reposition. Good dog. All right, that's enough for her. So, let's see, where's this at? That's looking like, what is going on there? Yowzer. Hey, look at my cabinets, weirdo. So the guy was like, oh yeah, you got a bigger rock, you got a better deal. They must have screwed up and they loaded it. I'm just like, I even said to him, it's like, how would that, like, hey, you put the wrong rocks in. Like, I just like, whatever. I mean, what I figure is going to happen is, hopefully I can get those rocks spread across the driveway, get the small rocks and mix and make a concretion. That'll work. So that was my goal for eventual. And then like the rain came and like it washed my driveway out. Like, just a huge gully right down the driveway, because like, how else is it gonna work? So I had like an opportunity of like drizzle. I had nothing to do once again. I was like, oh, I can go work in the driveway. But all that, they pushed some of that concrete rock up in the driveway. So it's like, it's like either do it now or it's never gonna get done. I gotta pick all that out. So like, there was so much, like I could use a rake, and like, they pushed it over the top of the existing driveway, which was like a packed surface. Like, it's a hard surface. So I was able just to rake it all up. Like I filled the whole mule bed basically full of this rock that I don't want in my driveway. Not on the main driveway, like the part that you see. It's like, hey, welcome to my substandard house, but like at least you have a nice gravel driveway, whatever. So I got most of that out. You know, there's no skid loader on site, so all I have is the mule and a snow plow. And it's like, well, I'm going to regrade my driveway with a snow plow. Like, whatever. I did it. Like, they put, like, I don't know, they must have brought an 18-wheeler or rocket. As long as I can mow it. They put a rocket, like, they did my driveway, then they clear out into the road next to me, and I'm like, the dude from the engineering department, he's like, dude, just take that rock from there and put it in your driveway. Who cares? I was like, do I need to do that at night? Like, is that an official... Like, is this an official sanctioned thing you're telling me is take the rock, put it in my driveway? And he's like, nobody gives a shit. I was like, whatever. And they had a lot of rock. It was up, but like my garage is low. So like, in my mind, they put the street in higher than my garage floor. So like, I lowered that, pitched it like I wanted to get it away from the garage, and like pushed the rock up. All right, dog. You need to get some grip. Sorry. Excuse me. There you go. Get on the rug. Get on the rug. Oh, get on the rug. Come on. There you go. Oh my god, the dog is just like, no, I need more. Like, she got on the carpet, walked fine, walked on the slip floor. Put some grips on her feet. Anyways, so I got that taken care of. It's just weird because, like, the rocks are huge. I mean, they're huge. I mean, hopefully they pack in, but, like, they're not round. So, like, the concrete was round marbles, right? When you walk on that, it would just shift underneath your feet. You'd be like, whoa, but this stuff is actually packing in. They're almost like bars of rock. Like they're long and narrow and flat. Kind of. Not all of them. Whatever. I think that chapter of my life is over. The bitching to the authorities about the condition of my quote-unquote driveway. I think that's all on me now, as far as to make it the way I want it, because, like, I just come to realize they don't give a shit. Like, I kind of been driving up and down the street looking, and there's people whose yards are far, far, far less complex than mine that look almost as bad. I mean, just like, it's a flat yard. How can... My buddy that lives on the street, they put a thing in his yard. There's like literally no chance he's gonna be able to mow that. There's no way you can mow it because the mower deck will go, the earth will go inside the blades, and like it's just like what the like, it doesn't even make sense. But they cut so far into his yard, and they did curb to cut. Like he lost. That's just like whatever. It's so disappointing. I feel so bad for people. And of course, with the rain, all right, I gotta help my dog. She just sit there like flopping. I'll be right back. Brody, can you go find a rug? Can you go get on a rug? Come on, babe. I want a rug. I want a rug. There you go. Yowzer. Sorry about that. I'm back. Like, I actually took one of my rugs and put it out there so she'd have a rug to walk on, which is helping quite a bit. But there's still, like, they're like dog-sized spots on my hardwood floor with no rug, and that's where she hangs out. She's like, oh, there's a spot that if I stand, I can't control my feet. I'm going to go stand there. Like, I don't understand dogs. But anywho's, all the rain, right, pouring down, like, I don't know how many inches we got, kind of washed all the dirt out on the slopey parts, and like I have like an aggregate gravel yard now because, like, you know, they raked the yard and all the rocks were raked off. Well, the rain washed down, you know, an 1/8 inch, exposing all the aggregate, and then it gullied out in spots, exposing more aggregate. And it's just like I look at my yard, and it's like, dude, it's so much gravel. Like, it's so ridiculous to think that that's. I guess. Comments have been disabled. The road construction project fixing my yard is done by the disabled, I think. There you go, Berta. Just lay down to the plate. Good girl. Oh, Berta. Come on now. You can do it. We're live on the internet, babe. Oh, nope, don't break that. Are you protesting? Are you mad? My dog's mad at me. He's like, I want more eggs. Can you go stand someplace where there's not a slick floor? Please, Berta, please, please, please. Anywhere, anywhere. Go on the wood, go on the rug, go on the carpet, go on anything. There's like 5 feet of slick right there, and there's like 2 feet there, and that's like, she's obsessed. That's the only place she'll hang out. Okay, calm down. Yep, she just found it right in the other room. Right, like at the end of the rug, there's a spot that big, and she's just right there. Okay, good dog. Couldn't walk 1 more feet, just stand on the rug or lay down on the rug. It's like before the rug, but whatever. So, I asked the dude, like, oh, they're actually gonna work in my yard. Oh yeah, they're gonna fix your yard. This is before the rain. And he didn't mention all the rain's coming. We're not sure how that's gonna work, and like, the grass is sprouting now. Like I have germinated grass sprouting that has to be all. I'm just like, okay. I'm sure that's gonna work out great. I'm sure that's all gonna just work out, and it's gonna be perfect, and everyone's gonna be happy. We're all gonna celebrate. Whatever. Tell you what other great news there was. Like I was kind of excited last night to, log in with some of my Saturday friends, spend some time with them. A little celebration time weekend, right? Holiday weekend for me. And log in. All right, Birdie, you can't lean against me all the time. There you go, babe. There you go. Log in, like no comms. Like, oh great. So reset, no comms. Reset again, no comms. Reset again, no comms. By now, I think I've done 4. Normally after 3, I give up. But it's like I really wanted to be on comms. So like, it's taking about a half hour. I'm a half hour past starting time. I've communicated with them via text. Like, hey, I'm having problems with comms. Trying to get it reset. They're like, oh yeah, we get it. Come back in. Still no comms. By then, like, oh, we're going to a different campaign. All right, I'm gonna reset again. So I'm 5 times reset. The campaign we're going to, you have to like queue into because there's a line to get in. I had been queued, started at like number 20th place. After that next reset, the 5th reset, come back in, I was at like 7. So I'll do 1 more, reset again, and like that's 6 now, come back in. I'm like queue 3 or 4. And if I reset again, I'm gonna miss my queue and get kicked to the back of the line again. Still no comms, the whole night no comms, just like, fuck. Jesus. Such garbage. All right, that's the end of this. I did my hour. Those of you that watched, thank you for coming and watching. Those that you missed out on a great one. Whatever, I'm gonna go do some stuff. Peace.